You're listening to In the Room podcasts with Rima and Rachel.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us in the room. I'm Rachel Strutt.
Wow, she even said her last name. I'm just Rima, because whatever.
You know what? I'm so used to like when I audition, I have to slate my name.
Yeah, it's okay.
You know,
it's
Rachel
right.
Strutt
And Rima.
and Rima
And just Rima.
Rima.
And just Rima. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I know we're just doing all kinds of fixins and fidgeting and everything today. It's kind of a weird day.
Getting settled.
I'm having
a busy day.
having a day where, I mean, I'm going to be honest here. I'm always honest. So why did I just preface that? I don't know.
I don't know.
I kind of didn't feel like doing this today.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been napping. I've been like wanting to nap.
Did you listen to our episode about naps, Rima?
Did I listen to it? I was in the room for it, honey. It was part of the episode.
Back and listen.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've just been running so hard and I just felt like I needed a second. But yeah, I'm good now. I'm awake and I'm having some there's this company here. I think they're all over the country called HTOTEA. And so they are all these infused teas that you can get sweet or unsweet. So this is peach, mango,
that's fun. You've got a drink
ginger.
Today, and I've got a drink today.
Cheers. We should drink wine sometime too. But
we should drink wine. That would be a whole nother episode. I've got my electrolyte.
Yeah, we could do.
Oh my gosh.
So
where's my brain today?
Your brain is not there. And you know what's really funny? And then we can talk about whatever, because our listeners are probably going, get on with it.
I know, for reals.
But it would be kind of fun to like have a glass of wine and do an episode late at night, because they have this thing called, I just saw it on Instagram, called Drunk Shakespeare. And they tour all over.
Well, have you seen Drunk History?
That's what I mean. So what about Drunk in the Room with Rima and Rachel?
That would be so...
Like every time somebody says something inappropriate, we need to take a shot.
Especially because we're not, you and I are both not like big drinkers. Like we'll have a cocktail now and then, but we are not drinkers.
I'm like a one-drink drinker.
Imagine.
If you had to take a shot every time, like we'd have to call something like every time you do, you have to take a shot.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
But you know what so actually that kind of brings up something that I've been thinking about the last couple of days.
Taking shots?
Doing shots. No, doing.
Super.
And I'll circle back around.
I'm taking my vitamins, y'all, if you're watching.
Look at us. I'm drinking my electrolytes. You're taking your vitamins.
It takes me all day to take my vitamins. No joke. There's like 10 of them. And it takes me all day. And so this is my last 3 left and it's the afternoon. And so you'll just see me swallowing my pills during this episode.
But
just so you know.
I love us being healthy, making healthy
Go ahead,
choices.
Rachel. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I read this book. I just finished reading this book. It just came out. I had it on my Kindle, like pre-order. And it's called, I'll tell our listeners because they might want to read it. The title's a little silly, but it's called The Midlife Birthday Club. And it's about these women. They're all turning 50. There's 3 of them. And they're like total best friends. And it kind of has the, typical archetypes of the invisible woman who has raised her family, taken care of her children, given up on her dreams, doesn't feel seen by her husband anymore. Their marriage is on the rocks. So that's friend number 1. Friend number 2 is like the typical going through deep, deep grieving.
Okay.
Husband has passed away. Like, I don't want to give any spoilers, but going through recovering from like deep grief. And then kind of the typical friend who she's 50, she's been single all her life, no kids, like has put everyone at arm's length, is afraid to make a commitment, is afraid to let people in, super closed off. And so those are our 3 heroines of the book. And basically it's their 50th birthday. They all different months, but they are celebrating together. And they
Hold on, I'm gagging on my pill.
Oh my gosh. I'm calling call the police. Rima's gagging. They're just
it didn't go down yet. Hold on.
Oh my gosh. Okay, for those of you who can't see, Rima is literally she has these vitamins that we mentioned earlier.
Oh God.
She's literally this is a moment where if you're not
so sorry, but it started to dissolve.
You wish you were.
You know how it starts to dissolve
so
and then it breaks apart. All right. So anyway, sorry. Go ahead. I'm fine.
Nasty.
I'm fine.
We've all been there, Rima.
Don't worry.
We've all been there.
I know. Okay.
So anyway, you have these 3 friends. They're all going through these kind of, different places in their lives. And they decide on their 50th birthday that they're going to make this pact to do something, like one thing every month together, the 3 of them, not separately, that scares them, that terrifies them.
Oh.
And
don't tell us the story.
I'm not going to. No.
Okay.
Hi, I'm not going to.
Okay.
It was interesting to me because it made me think. Now, their situation is a story, right?
Okay.
So everything kind of gets wrapped up nicely in a bow. But I was thinking, man, like, when was the last time I did something that scared me? That
Are you talking scared like?
No. I'm not talking like watched a horror film. I'm talking about stepping out of your comfort zone. When was the last time that I took a risk, that I stepped out of my comfort zone and did something that was a little scary? And I think when we get to be this age, it feels really good to be comfortable. And so what these women do, and some of the things, I don't want to give away what they are. Some of the things to us wouldn't be scary at all, especially like who we are. So I'll say one of them like was to go to karaoke and do karaoke.
Okay.
For them, none of them had ever done it. Now for you and I to go karaoke, that's a typical Saturday
it's a
night.
dream. Yeah,
so that would not be scary. So what was scary for them would not be scary for us.
Right.
But my question is, how often as we get older, and I'm not talking about like episode 1 where we talked about doing something new, because that's scary too. I'm talking about just some little thing that gets us out of our comfort zone. Or are we so complacent and cozy in our midlife comfortability, if that's a word, we like to make up words on this show, that we don't take risks anymore, that we don't do those things that stretch us and create character.
Yeah, that is so good. And I'll tell you what I think. So I'm a super social person, as you know. And so and we've talked about FOMO and all the things I have and, but sometimes, believe it or not, I am not confident socially.
Okay.
And so, for example, very dear friend of mine who'll probably listen to this, it was her birthday this weekend.
Yeah.
Well, it was her birthday celebration, not her birthday. And so for her birthday celebration, she wanted to have 5 or 6 of her closest friends. And we were going to all go to my lake house and spend the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds just fantastically fun.
Yeah.
But there was something inside of me that was like, I guess because it's my lake house, if I feel uncomfortable, I can just cook or clean up, or because there was a part of me that was like, if it wasn't my lake house, would I feel really comfortable going someplace where I know some of the people, but I don't know how everybody's going to jive? I was not, let's put it this way. This is what makes me uncomfortable. It ended up being such a fantastic weekend. And actually, there's a new show out called the 5-Star Resort or 5-Star something with Jennifer Gardner.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that. I've seen it's
and
almost
it literally,
It's got all those archetypes too.
So
in that,
our
that
weekend was very
kind of
similar.
Common theme.
I haven't seen the whole thing, but not the theme of it, but the premise, the like the visually and everything, it looked like our weekend, which was really funny because we actually watched it while we were up there going like, did they take this from us?
Interesting.
But you know what I found is that what makes me uncomfortable is when I'm not in control.
Yeah.
And so my fear in going into this weekend was I'm not in control of the guest list. I'm not in control of, I'm not in control. I'm basically opening my house and saying, bring your people, but I'm not in control of setting up the guest list. Like, is this person going to get along with this person?
Oh,
and what?
Okay.
And that makes me,
that was all on your friend.
That's fearful to me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure my friend thought about it, but I didn't. And I was one of the people going into it. So it was kind of interesting to go, some of the things we don't do is because we're not in control of it anymore. So as we get older, we obviously, no matter what happens, we start to lose control. Like my daughter will
and
joke
you're not
with
talking
me.
about of your bladder.
That happens
that
too.
Can happen too.
That happens
That's a different show.
It's a different show.
Okay.
That's when we're the medical experts.
Okay.
But like my daughter will say funny things to me as I used to say to my mom. And we joke like, well, when you get older, Mom, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to put you in that wheelchair. Or I'm going to, but it's funny and cute and we joke about it. But there's a part of it that's like, that's not too funny because that really means that I don't have control over my own life anymore. And so it's the fear of going on a roller coaster. I've never done them because I'm afraid of heights. Why? Because I don't have control over the roller coaster.
So that would be like something that happened in this book. So you could even relate it to, okay, I'm trying to get over my control issues. So I'm going to go on this roller coaster. I've never done that before. It terrifies me. And
so I don't know though. So I'm going to go on the opposite end here. I kind of feel, okay, but this is today and I have not napped and I wanted to nap.
Okay.
And I didn't. And I normally don't nap unless I'm sick, and I'm not sick. I just needed a brain moment.
Yeah.
So now I'm saying things and I have no control over what I'm saying, but I'm going to be the opposite. I know all these women in this book, and like you were saying, getting over the fear of and as we get older, and I'm kind of been there, done that my whole life. Like, why can't I get to a place where it's like, I don't have to, why isn't it okay that I don't try certain things that are new? Why can't I sit and go, I just want to put my feet up on the sand and I don't need to surf.
Here's the thing though. I mean, I think that you absolutely have that right.
Yeah.
I think you absolutely can. So you don't need to say why can't I?
Right.
You absolutely can. But I think, is there also a complacency in that, no longer taking risks, no longer doing things that really challenge you? And I understand being tired, just be like, oh man, I want to sit there and do nothing. And I think that there's absolutely a time for that. And now, of course, again, this is a book. And so the things that they ended up doing, they didn't specifically choose to kind of get them out of the situations that they were in, or get them past the points where they were finding themselves in their lives. It was just kind of a natural byproduct. They did these things that kind of made them feel alive. So when I was thinking, you're talking about this weekend with your friends and how that was kind of, scary for you because you didn't have control. So one thing that came up when I was going and examining my own life, I was thinking about a situation that happened a few years ago where I don't like the ocean. That is something I will go in the beach. I like going to the beach. I will stand there. I will swim in the waves, but I've never taken a cruise.
You don't want,
no,
because you're not in control.
I don't know that. No, it's not about being in control. I think it's just, I saw the black stallion way too young and that ship goes down.
That's what I'm talking about, though. You're not in control of the ship, but you're in control of your body in the ocean, and you're okay with that.
Maybe. But so anyway, I don't like the ocean. I don't like where I can't see the ground. I guess that is a control thing. I do like snorkeling in shallower water where I can see the ground. So anyway, we're in Hawaii.
Stand up.
We're in Hawaii.
Put your face under.
If it's necessary and I can stand up, then yes.
It's even better,
I like snorkeling where I can stand up.
Yeah.
Rima,
okay.
Don't shame me. There's no
I'm not. No shaming and judgment. No, we're good to our girls.
So we're in Hawaii, and my sister and brother-in-law are coming along, and I get a call from my sister, and she's like, Rachel, we are going to go on a night dive with the manta rays, and you're coming with us. And I'm like, no, I'm not. That's not going to happen, because that is like, I have never had any desire to do that. That just sounds horrible to me. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. And she's like, you are coming. It is going to be a bucket list thing. You will be able to tell your grandchildren about this. You are coming with us. And I'm like, no, so she finally, she's the big sister. Finally, I gave in, and I did it.
And was it amazing?
I went on this night snorkeling thing with the manta rays, terrified. I mean, even when you go out in these boats, fortunately, it's not a super deep thing. Like, you definitely can't touch the ground, but it's probably like 30, 40, 50 feet of water, Okay. I actually don't know, but that's what I'm.
And you were in a swimming pool, right? No, I'm kidding.
I was in a swimming pool. The manta ray was plastic. It had baking soda in it so that it flopped up to the surface. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. And you had to put, and I was it was at a time when I wasn't feeling good about where I was in my body and all of that. And you had to get these wetsuits on. So we're covering two fears in one, in a wetsuit, in public, in front of other people, and night snorkeling with manta rays. But stepping off of that boat, they've got little floaties out there, and you got to step off into the water. Right. And both my sister and I kind of looked at each other for a second, and we were a little, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this. And we did it. And at first it wasn't great. Not gonna lie. It wasn't great.
Okay. You were a little scared.
Lot scared. But then it was freaking amazing.
Really?
It was one of the coolest things, maybe the coolest. I don't know. I have to think hard about it, but it was one of the coolest things, if not the coolest thing I've ever done. It was so great. And I don't want to just like harp on about the story, because I'm telling it to kind of prove a point. But I think after you do something like that, you kind of come out of it and you go, okay, I can kind of do the thing that maybe doesn't feel so great. And what else am I potentially missing out on because it sounds scary or like a risk to me?
Yeah.
So that was something that would have absolutely been in the book.
Yeah. And I think we do. I mean, you and I might be different. I think I take lots of risks a lot. I start new things, and I'm constantly, I feel like I'm trying to constantly evolve. But that being said, I'm evolving in things that I want to do, not in places where I don't. Yeah. And like here, this was a push. You would never, this wasn't your bucket list and you're comfortable and you don't want to do it. This wasn't like a passion of yours, but you were locked in fear. Like, I've always wanted to do it, but I don't think I can. This was more like, heck no, not even interested, not in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And
Can you think of something that would like, does something come to your head that you would be like,
heck no?
Yeah. But
there's a lot of things. Well, one, I'm afraid of heights. So anything
yes, you are.
So afraid. So paralyzing afraid.
I've experienced that with you, and I've forgotten that.
Very. And I literally will get...
Listeners, she is not joking.
No, I'm not. Like, as a matter of fact, we took our kids to Canada in a choir trip a long time ago. Our kids went to Canada, and I was a chaperone. And while we were in Canada, they had this, like, you go up to the tallest building. They have them in lots of different cities. And the floor is clear. So to walk from one side of the top and the other, it's clear. Yes. So you see right through. And the kids were like thinking it was so fun. It was creepy and scary, but they were laying on the glass, face down. I think my
son was there.
Oh, 100% he was. And so was your daughter.
Yeah, I think
so. And your daughter was leaning outside. They had a building where there was just a metal,
a
metal thing where you lean like this.
Yes.
And she's leaning there on this metal grate. And all I keep thinking of is it takes one screw to loosen and we're losing everybody.
She had a screw loose to do that, honestly.
So for me, I'm so afraid of heights that walking over that was like I could put my toe and tap, but what was happening to me physically, the palms, the heart palpitation, I literally thought I was dying. And so that's how scared I am. So there are certain things that
did you do it?
No, I didn't walk across the whole thing.
You didn't? Okay.
No, I've been in places where there are certain things, but I've missed out. Like we were in Costa Rica and there are these gorgeous bridges, right? Wooden swing.
Like
way up high over the canyon, with the river below, the whole deal.
Yeah.
And the only way, so we went hiking. We took our son when he graduated high school or college, I think it was, to Costa Rica. And he and my husband are like, going on this hike and we're with the guide and the whole thing. And we get to the first bridge and I just can't. And I said, you know what, y'all I will go down back the way we came by myself. I'm fine. Howler monkeys and all. It's good not to cross that bridge. Like I'd rather have scorpions all around me than cross that bridge. Like there's nothing that could make me run across that bridge. I'd sit down and die before I went across that bridge. Like I just get eaten by an animal. I just sit and let them just eat me alive. And it's bad. So I finally thought I have to do this. Like my son and my husband are like, Reem, like there's so much more to see. Like we're just started this hike. This is one of 9 bridges and the things that we're going to see beyond there are going to be, and then FOMO hits, right? So I'm like, what am I going to miss? But I was scared. So the first bridge I went across holding my son, told my husband, you can't go on the bridge at the same time as us because I don't want any shaking, holding him with my eyes closed and saying, just walk and walk. Yeah. And it's swaying and I can't see anything. So I'm not experiencing it and I'm not proud of myself. I got to the other end, but I'm not like, woohoo, you did
look
it.
What I've done. Woohoo.
No, because I literally was horrified. By the time I got to the second bridge, I thought, okay, I'm going to just try it. But I had to make both of them. So my son had to go across first and stand there and like cheer me on. My husband stood back there and I said, I want to be the only person on the bridge. Meanwhile, other tours are coming.
Yes.
So the line is backing up and the tour guides are speaking to me in Spanish and not understanding what's going on. And I'm having a full panic attack. So I'm like, just stop. And so I just said, I'm just going to run. I'm going to run and hope this thing doesn't sway too bad. And I'm going to just run as fast as I can. So I ran out and I ran out a little bit and then I got spooked and I ran back.
Okay.
And I literally had to do this 3 or 4 times where I ran and ran a little farther and then came back until I finally ran across the whole bridge and collapsed at the end and needed a moment of like, that was a lot. But I did it.
Okay.
I don't want to do it again.
But how did it feel going back then?
No, we went down. So we went out and then the car.
And you only did 2 out of the 9.
No, we did 9. We did 9.
Okay, so then how did number 3 feel?
They were all very traumatic. I'm just being honest. I'd like to say
easier,
they got easier. No.
Okay.
No, every single one was life-threatening to me. Every single one.
By the end of it, though, did you feel like,
I felt proud.
I did that?
I felt proud that I could do that and that I knew how much it meant to my family for me to do that.
Okay.
There are some things I have done where I've come out on the other side and said, wow.
Yeah.
And my kids will say, like, Mom, we're so proud of you. Like, wow,
Yeah.
you did that.
Yeah.
But those are heavy, deep-seated fears. I think we're talking about fears that just take us out of our comfort zone a little.
Yeah.
Not like
kind of
life-threatening fears.
Right.
And I think those can be as simple as you're an introvert and you want to join a new book club and you're afraid and you don't go because you don't want to be the person to walk in the room, or
Right.
you want to go and take a class at the gym but you don't know anybody, so you don't go and take the group classes because you don't want to be the only one in there and you don't feel comfortable, or you've never danced before and you're scared people will make fun of you if you take a dance class. Like, I think that's probably more on the bend of like my whole bridge story, which is an extreme
I am proud of
psychological
you,
fear.
and it's years later, and I am
It's
proud of
years
you
later
for doing that.
But I think we don't like to get out of our
honestly, I
comfort
don't have
zone.
to ever go snorkeling with the manta rays again.
No,
Like,
you
I've
don't.
done it. I'm good. Did it take away my fear of the ocean? No. I still, we were a year ago,
but you did it
at an
and you saw
aquarium.
some cool stuff.
We were at an aquarium and they had one of those shark tunnel things,
and you were kind of
sharks
freaking
is
out.
on my no fly zone.
Yeah.
And I started feeling like I was going to have a panic attack. And so I had to walk through that thing, blinders on so that I couldn't see, so no,
it's so amazing.
It didn't heal me, but I think it did do something to me that was like, wow. Yeah. It's one thing doing something for other people, but it's, and that's the people pleaser in us.
Yeah.
But it's another thing to be like, I did this crazy thing and I did it. And I am proud of me for taking that first step onto the invisible bridge Indiana Jones reference. I think there's something about that grows character too.
I agree with you 100%.
And I see these. Oh, go ahead. Well, I'm just saying, like, I see people around us as they get, older, just your world starts to get smaller.
Right.
And, as we've talked about in another episode, like, how do we prevent some of these things that we see that we feel for us aren't the greatest? And I don't want my world to get smaller. I was talking to my husband, my son and his wife had an amazing honeymoon. And they were off and they're doing, ATV stuff in France and on these amazing islands out of Portugal and doing spelunking, going through the caves and like doing all these things. And I said to my husband, not that long ago, actually, I'm not like a doer of activities like that.
Mm-hmm.
I do things all the time. I am a goer. I am constantly doing things, but I'm not a doer in the way that I see other people doing things. And it's not a comparison thing, but I think I can look at myself and say, is that something about me that I'd like to change?
Right.
Do I want to be going and hiking? Do I want to be going and being in that boat on the river? We live right near a river.
Yeah.
We've been here
but
4 years.
But the thing is, as
We've
you keep saying,
do
you want to be? You don't.
Right.
Because it's not in your comfort zone.
But no, those things aren't out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Those aren't scary things to me. I'm just talking about like, and apologies if you can hear my dog
I can
barking.
hear your dog, yeah.
Yeah, we're about like right after this, talk about doing going. I have a band rehearsal.
Yeah.
And our bandmate just got here. So I'm just a reevaluation of the next potential 30 years, hopefully, God willing, of my life. If I don't take those risks and make those choices, is my world going to become smaller and smaller and smaller? Am I okay with that? or am I not?
Right. And I think sometimes we think we are okay with it, but secretly inside, we're like, I think we've talked about this. Like, I look at the next, let's say 15 years, maybe 20, of really good, hearty years where I can still hike and do things. But then after that, maybe not so much. And maybe getting out of my comfort zone in 20 plus years is not going to be important. But I think when you still have enough in you to make memories and see things and take things in, even if they're not comfortable, those can be some of the most valuable things that you do for yourself. And if fear's holding you back because you don't want to go on a cruise because you're scared of the water, but the people that you might meet there might be friends that you take on your next journey of 20 or 30 years. Like, you're missing out on that. So it's like looking at the fear as opportunity as opposed to discomfort.
Yeah. And I don't know that fear is like, oh, I'm so scared. Fear has different meanings. And is it something that we can do that will, just, if you are of the belief that we get one trip around this life,
the sun,
that this is it for us, I don't want to be just sitting on my sofa watching TV. Is there a time for that? 100%.
Right.
There is a time for that. But I want to make sure that I don't get so comfortable and it's not from fear of missing out. It's just that I don't want to get so comfortable that I potentially miss out on things that really could enrich not only
that you
my
don't
life,
even know that you're missing out on
I
because,
am.
And that you're just sitting and not.
Yeah. So this book just really made me
What's
think.
that book called again?
It's called The Midlife Birthday Club. And I'm sure it's easy to find out who the author is. Let's see. Rachel Hanna.
Okay.
And it was a good read.
Great.
And of course, these women were different women by the end of that, because each month it was 12 things that they did, and they were different women by that. And I just wonder what's out there
I love that.
Might bring something up that could be a potentially just life-changing thing. I don't know.
I love that. And you touched on something else, and it's a conversation for a different day, but I love that you said doers and goers. And I love that. And I want to just like come back to that sometime, because I think there's a whole lot of stuff in what we do and where we go and how, and they're so different. So I love that. I just am saying that out loud. But anyway, I am, well, thank you for saying that. Cause I wasn't like, we're having people over tonight, a group of people, and like, I just want to be napping, and I'd be much more comfortable just napping or watching a Netflix show or whatever. But I'm going to get out of my comfort zone and I'm going to go and look for the positive in this event. And then I bet I will. And I bet at the end of the night, at the end of the night, I'm going to sit there and go, this was really cool. Like, I really got to have a great conversation with whatever or something. So I know that there's going to be good that comes out of it, but sometimes we just get stuck and we just want to be in that stuck mode. And so thank you for unsticking me.
You're welcome, friend. I love you. And I hope you have a great night.
Sounds good. Thank you. And we'll see you guys next time in the room.
Bye.
Bye.